Today, the United States is announcing an emergency package for Ukraine using cost savings from previously approved Pentagon contracts. The package includes munitions and rounds to help Ukraine hold the line against Russia's brutal attacks for the next couple of weeks, which I have the authority to do without asking Congress for some more money right now. But I've asked them for a lot more money. And but it's not nearly enough what I'm announcing today.
Are they going to drop them on people like they did in Gaza? God is my witness. I thought those turkeys could fly. Welcome back to the program. Bottom of the second hour, Dana Loesch with you. That was the president announcing more monies going to Ukraine. More monies.
Well, it's equipment because he can't get the money yet.
Yeah, but he's sending more stuff over there. Who owns that? That's my stuff.
That's our stuff.
I mean, I don't even know what stuff I have. I just wish that I was as well armed as the Ukrainian military that we were sending all our stuff to, right? I just want what they left for the Taliban. That's all I'm saying, right? I just want what I have coming to me. I just want what's mine. If you follow Peanuts and I don't know. Anyway, deep dive. So it's what? Well, they did announce money though. Listen to this, audio soundbite 2. This is Jake Sullivan, National Security. Listen.
So today, on behalf of President Biden, I'm announcing an emergency package of security assistance of $300 million worth of weapons and equipment to address some of Ukraine's pressing needs.
You know,
this is possible because of unanticipated cost savings in contracts that DoD negotiated to replace equipment we've already sent to Ukraine through previous drawdowns.
So it's money. I mean, it's, regardless. We could send some of the stuff to Taiwan, but we don't. Or Taiwan wants to buy it.
Weapons are fungible too.
Yeah, they are. All of that. It's money. Everything's money. All of that's money. Like I tell my kids, whenever you're making a purchase, you have to determine whether or not the dollar is the amount of your life. Your money is a measure of your life. If you want to spend that much of the life that you spent making that money on this item, you have to determine if you spending your life on that item, that much of your life is worth it. It really changes the perspective of buying things when you talk about it like that. And it also further enrages you when you consider just how much inflation is hurting everybody. But I am curious, are they just going to just drop stuff on people? I'm just, I'm wondering. So all that money. And then, of course, we have the pier that they're port. It's a pier for Gaza that they're constructing. And I am made of questions about this still. Like, for instance, I don't understand why we don't just scooch it on down a little bit. Scooch it on down and at least enjoy, if we have to do it, be in Egyptian waters and then go through, put it up on land, then just go down the little road and make a left at Rafah. Why don't we do that? I mean, these are hostile forces, the enemy of our ally. You're going to have rockets, you got snipers, it's total destroyed urban warfare. What happens if, the Marines setting all this up? What happens if they take fire? What happens if they fire on them? It's Hamas. What happens? They have American hostages. You think that they won't? I mean, what happens then? I mean, this is such a stupid idea. Of course, this is from the administration that was like, yeah, let's close Bagram and move our staging area to the Hamid Karzai International Airport there in the safe center of Kabul, which is entirely run by the Taliban that we saw coming 2 months ago when they were telling everyone that they were coming on WhatsApp. Because they did. That administration. But seriously, what happens if, do we know how far away offshore they're putting this pier? No. The reason I ask this is because what happens if people overwhelm the area? If it's close enough to shore, which I don't know if it is, that's why I'm asking. It seems dumb but if you have boats coming, what happens if things just go sideways? None of that makes sense. It's just one of the goofiest things I've ever seen. But we're committed to it, I guess, so I don't know. Speaking of Gaza, you had the queen, the Turkish, or sorry, the Jordanian queen, Queen Rania of Jordan. And she was saying that she was mad at Israel for defending itself. And I wanted to play this soundbite because I found this to be absolutely asinine. We had this from yesterday that we held over. And she was saying that this was about Israel and how much what people in Gaza have experienced is so much worse. It's so much worse. We had this. Do we have this? It was from the audio soundbite from yesterday. And this was, we should have it because I really would hate to skip over it. We were supposed to carry this over from yesterday. But she was talking to CNN's Christiane Amanpour, and her response was that, well, Israel has experienced only one October 7th. Palestinians have experienced 158 October 7ths. And I'm thinking, whoa. First off, no. And secondly, no Israelis have been sticking grenades in Gazan women's vaginas. Listen to this.
You know, I would say that as devastating and as traumatic as October 7th was, it doesn't give Israel license to commit atrocity after atrocity. And Israel experienced one October 7th. Since then, the Palestinians have experienced 156 October 7th.
No, they haven't. That's not true. And you know what? They shouldn't have voted for Hamas. And they shouldn't keep electing Hamas. And you shouldn't have to suspend elections recently because Hamas was so popular they almost assumed control in the West Bank as well as Gaza. That's the problem. No, you had a ceasefire on October 6th. And I really do question, I know that people are trying to keep the separation, and I don't subscribe to the idea that there are no innocents there. However, you voted for Hamas. There were citizens that took part in the terroristic the atrocities against Israelis. There were videos, mass amounts of civilians spitting and kicking on the barely living bodies of Israelis that had been kidnapped and brought back into Gaza. Hostage after hostage who had finally been freed, although more still remain in captivity, talk about how they were kept in civilian homes with civilians. So stop. Let's not pretend that everyone's stupid. And I just found Rania's remark to be absolutely racist and ignorant. And it betrays a deep bigotry on her part. I don't recall Israelis, like I said, putting grenades into the vaginas of Gazan women. I don't recall Israelis cutting the breasts off of Gazan women while they gang rape them in front of their children. I don't recall Israelis putting babies of Gazan women in the ovens and cooking them to death. So you can't be both the aggressor and the victim. The idea that a country doesn't have the right to defend itself is asinine. That's why everyone just needs to get out of their way. I hope every single dog that is a member of Hamas is burned to ash. And I hope that anyone that had been in any way culpable or even sympathetic to their plight is terrified, so terrified that they never ever commit another atrocity like that, and that lesson reverberates throughout the generations. Sometimes brutality should be answered with brutality. That is the cost of war. It's why war is horrible. And it's why your backed Hamas should not have entered into it so lightly. They FA'd, now they're FOing. While Jordan looked the other way. If Jordan feels so strongly about it, why don't they take all of these refugees in? You can sit there and do your little interview, buy all the boxes of aid and everything else, but that's weird. I don't see any refugees there with you. Are they welcomed into the palace? All those quote-unquote Palestinian, if we're going to use the name of an area that has literally never existed at all in antiquity and was actually a spiteful name given by Hadrian to a conquered people, named after the Philistines who were from Crete and were seafaring, but I digress. Where are the refugees? Are they in the palace? Is that why we don't see them there with all the aid that is supposedly going over that Hamas is going to take again, like they took the last time and the time before that? Terrorists thrive on the indulgence of this concern theater. Because if all of these people were so concerned, They would have bent over backwards to make sure that Hamas honored the ceasefire that was in place on October 6th, and the one that was in place before they broke it the last time, and the one that was in place before they broke it the last time before that, and the one that was in place before they broke it the last time before that. So spare us.